Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to That's Football. It's another watch-along, but it's the return of the Champions League and it's a massive game for Newcastle in Dortmund. They basically cannot afford to lose. The way the Champions League is set up, it's the group of death, PSG, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund and Newcastle. And losing at St James's Park last week has effectively put a bit of pressure onto Newcastle today. They are going to have to not lose this game. I think that a draw might still be okay. They've still got to go to Paris, though, remember. The way that group looks at the moment, you have got PSG top with 6, Dortmund and Newcastle on 4, AC Milan on 2. I feel AC Milan might be the team that falls away, so it's about Europa League or second place for Newcastle. And well, but who knows? Maybe AC Milan can get something out of PSG today. But I feel that Newcastle have got to get something here, because if they get beat by Dortmund, you'd fancy them to lose in Paris, which means they could only get 7 points, which is what Paris and Dortmund will effectively already be on if they win today. So yeah, I feel that they've got a real difficult game, and they need to win. Do I think they'll win? Actually, I will give Newcastle the respect Dortmund deserve. I don't think they'll win. I think Dortmund will win. But, you know, Newcastle have been absolutely fantastic at defying logic over the last week. They won 3-0 at Old Trafford with the B team. And obviously they beat Arsenal at the weekend. All right, it was controversial because of VAR, but it wasn't like... I think one of the most important things to remember is that Newcastle have been cast quite unfairly as some sort of offender in what happened on Saturday night. The VAR, the PGMOL, the referee, John Brooks, they're the offenders here. Newcastle and Arsenal was actually a very equal game. So I don't think Newcastle were robbed. Arsenal weren't robbed of a result against Newcastle, because even without that, maybe Newcastle would have won. Anyway, we've got the lineups for you. There are the lineups. As you can see, Newcastle have had some more injury problems themselves. No Dan Burn for a couple of months now. So it's Nick Pope, Trippier, Lascelles, Shaw and Hall, who I like. I like Hall. Great opportunity for him over the next 2 months, but I do like him. Longstaff, Gomeres and Willock, and then Livramento, Wilson and Joel Linton. So Livramento, the right back, playing as right winger. Does that mean that they're going to play a little bit more defensive? Because Joel Linton normally plays in the midfield as well. Gordon's on the bench. Almiron's on the bench. I think this is a defensive Newcastle, and it may well be a 4-5-1, because Livramento and Joel Linton are normally playing deeper in the Newcastle system. So to have them as the wingers, I think this might be a 4-5-1 formation by Eddie Howe, who, let's be honest, if they avoid defeat today, it gives them a better chance. They need Dortmund not to win. Dortmund, Kobel, Sule, Hummels, Schlotterbeck, Ryerson, Sabitzer, Ozkan, Brandt, Namika, Adiemi and Fulkrug, who is a decent striker himself. The bench is still very strong for Dortmund. I mean, they haven't really got the injury problems that Newcastle have got with the likes of Makuku, Malen, Haller, Rayner, Royce. They've got some good players on their bench, Dortmund. As we know, they have their own cop here. It's a tremendous stadia, and I'm excited about this. I mean, look, it's a little bit odd. It is a little bit odd that it's being played at 5:45, but United have got a game against Galatasaray after the international break, which is a massive game that's also at 5:45. I'm not really a fan of 5:45 games. The yellow wall is what they call it, Mark, says Andre. It's very impressive. Never been. I would like to go and experience it because it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. They should have won the title last year, shouldn't they? But yeah, I'm not a fan of these 5:45 kickoffs. I think that's something that should be kept towards the Europa League, really. But you know, some people like it. Do you like it? Do you like it? I don't like it. Do you like it? I don't like it. But, you know, we've still got a good game. I like the game. I've played the game. I like the game. And I think this is going to be a cracking game. But which way will it go? I'm going to go with Dortmund just to respect the enormity of the challenge that Newcastle have here. But never write Newcastle and Eddie Howe off. They've been defying logic for a very long time. And I think that this is going to be a very good game, because Dortmund, I thought, gave a good show at St James's Park, and at home they'll certainly be looking to do that. Let Let me just get the tweet out. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. I'm sure we'll have some animal chat at some point. Actually, I have got a good animal topic for you. I'll save it for later because it's probably going to get clipped out of context. So get your recorders ready. But it's a cracking topic, and we'll be there to discuss it for you. Let me come back to the chat here. Where are we today, Mark? Says Benny. We're in Dortmund, aren't we? We're in Dortmund, aren't we? I'll go 3-1 Dortmund. Is that a little bit disrespectful on Newcastle? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Joseph wants them to get smashed. Cripps wants a pawn watch-along. I've heard of this before. I mean, the mind boggles as to how you know, just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Spurs fans are still crying, says Omar. I don't think they are. I think they're acting. You know, I think they feel like they won yesterday, don't they, Spurs fans? But there we go. Malin is very good, says Limitation. Dortmund got hammered at the weekend. That was exactly what I wanted to have a look at. So I applaud you for that. Dortmund football team are currently in the league table 4th. They are 7 points off the top, which is Leverkusen. Bayern are 2nd, and they're 5 points off them. They did get beaten at the weekend by Bayern of Munich 4-0 at home. So they are looking to bounce back potentially from that team that got beaten 4-0 by Bayern Munich at home. They have made a few changes. Wolf out, Brandt out, Royce out. But apart from that, it is pretty much the same set of players. Brandt is starting today as well. So pretty much the same team, to be fair. But it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Let's go Newcastle, says Christopher. Harry Kane doing bits in Dortmund. He did do bits in Dortmund, but he's doing bits in general. Let's just admit it. He's doing bits in general. And I think that Harry Kane at the moment is arguably the best striker in the world. Maybe we can do a poll on that. Kane or Haaland, who's the best striker in the world at the moment? We will do a poll on that. It's a good one. Referee's about ready to start here. I'm certainly ready, ref. Don't wait for me. But I've just dropped the link of the live chat, which is pinned now, of the podcast that went out today. It's called Why I Support Arsenal, which is a very clever headline for our podcast today, because obviously I don't support Arsenal, but in a way I do. So check out the podcast, but only real ones will know I'm a prat, she's a prat, he's a prat, they're whiny. If you know the tune, you know 1, 2, 3. Basically, we've got a new jingle for Prat of the Week, and it's bloody brilliant. So check out the podcast. Only winners know what I'm talking about there. Let me just get rid of you. It amazes me that people still come into my chats, say something toxic, and then think that I'm not going to notice it like I did because you retracted it, and now you've been blocked. Evening, Mark. Hope you're well. Got a ticket for the Christmas show. Can't wait for the event to meet you and the team. Really excited. Looking forward to it as well, Mo. You're all welcome to come to the Christmas show, by the way. You can still get tickets on December the 11th. And we've got Ben Foster on the show as well. A lot of the United Stand members on there as well. So really looking forward to it. Yeah, can't wait. It's a great jingle. It's the best jingle I've ever heard, and it made its debut on the podcast today. So maybe give it a listen. Links in the live chat. You can download it and listen to it later. It's that song that's going to be in your head for the rest of the day. I was playing some football earlier and I had to have a shower, and all the way in the shower I was singing, I'm a prat, she's a prat, he's a prat, they're whiny. It's brilliant. We're ready to go here. Guarantee we don't get any shit refereeing decisions today. The officiating in the Champions League seems to be far superior to that in the Premier League. And we're up and running here. There's a Newcastle player gone down early here. Talking to the songbird yesterday. Is a bird an animal? There's a question for you. I think it is. I think it is. I think it is. Here's a question for you. Here's a question for the chat. How fast, how many miles per hour, I'm going to search it. How many miles, how many MPM can Usain Bolt run? 27.7 miles per hour. How many do you think I can run then? About 26. If the world record from Usain Bolt is 27 miles per hour, how fast do you think we could run? I think about 26. What's the average? What do you think the average person is? 3. Swivel on it. Dortmund's starting off quite well here. It's leading into a bigger point. Basically, Newcastle with Livramento. He's done well there. He hasn't got the pace though. Goes out for a throw-in. 27 miles an hour. 27.7 miles per hour is what Usain Bolt clocked. Right. Animals that could kill Usain Bolt that would shock you. This is what I'm entitling this as. Well, basically, you can definitely substitute everybody for this. I mean, I don't even need to call it Usain Bolt. Animals that would kill anybody that might surprise you. You know, like you might walk up to an animal and go, slap it round the face and go up yours and start running. These are animals that would catch you and it might shock you. So, a hippo. You slap a hippo and run, probably going to catch you. It can run between 19 and 25 miles an hour. So unless you're Marcus Rashford or Usain Bolt, there's a very good chance that if you slap a hippo, it will catch you. Rashford and Usain Bolt, I reckon they could slap it and outrun it. But we don't know about stamina. We don't know how long it can go for. A hippo on Viagra is probably going to catch Rashford and Usain Bolt. So you can't slap a hippo. Never do it. They will catch you. 19 to 25 miles an hour. Another animal coming in a minute, but Newcastle are doing quite well here. It's deceptive, isn't it? Because I think I'd be very confident that if a hippo was giving me stick, I'd be confident I could give it a bit of abuse and go, yeah, come on then, you grey prat, run, and I'd be confident I could get away. But I've got no chance. I've got absolutely no chance. I'm not getting away. I'll have another one for you in a minute. Newcastle just passing it around back. Let's just do another one while we're waiting. Another interesting one, actually. A rhino. Now, I don't want to be fattest, but I always saw rhinos as very slow animals. I mean, I've heard people call certain centre-backs slower than a rhino. Well, factually, you're actually giving them a compliment for being quick, because a rhino is actually quicker than a polar bear, and it's quicker than a hippo. A rhino can run between 28, a low speed of 28 and 31. A rhino can run quicker. This is incredible. You would never think this. A rhino can run quicker than Usain Bolt. A rhino can run between 28 and 31 miles per hour. The quickest speed that Usain Bolt did was 27.7. That means a rhino could have won the gold at the Olympics. Were you in the Football Terrace live chat earlier, says Mario? I was, yeah. He put me in the title, so I was just looking what they had to say. Yeah. So a rhino. Oh, imagine giving a rhino a bit of... Imagine, like, you're walking down the street, you see a rhino, he's being all showy-offy with his big horn, you run home, You get yourself some water bombs. You throw a water bomb at it and go, ha ha, like Nelson off Simpsons, and you leg it. I would not know. I should entitle this, Animals That Would Catch You and Kill You, and you'll be surprised. Well, with a hippo, you will be surprised. One, you'll be surprised it catches you, but being as you're running away, I'll be very concerned where that horn's going as it catches up with you. Imagine that. You banter a hippo, you run off. This is an eye-opener to me. I was absolutely convinced hippos were slow. Not hippos, rhinos. Good shot over the bar from Dortmund, Brandt. I was absolutely convinced that hippos were really slow. So if a hippo was giving it the big one to me, I would shoot it with a Nerf gun right on the nose just to piss it off. If you've ever been hit by a Nerf gun, they are momentarily shocking, but they don't do any long-term damage. Don't phone the RSPCA, it's hypothetical, and a Nerf gun's not a real gun. It's got them little foam things in. So I'd fire a few Nerf gun pellets at it and go, ha ha ha, you big prat. And then as it got angry and ran at me, I'd run away. And as I turned behind, not only would I have a very, very big surprise as it started to get closer and closer because it's a lot faster than me, I'd also start shitting myself, which in a way is clearing the hole it's about to catch up and spike me on. It's going to get you right on your arse. 28 and 31 miles per hour a hippo can run, a rhino can run. It's quicker than Usain Bolt. Don't ever underestimate a bloody rhino. Imagine that, you break down on a safari and you're walking along and you can see a rhino pack, or whatever they're called, about 400 metres away. Don't worry, everyone. They're really slow. If it starts running, we'll outrun it. We bloody well won't. We bloody well won't. Education bridge. I'm going to have a dream about a rhino tonight. And not in that way. That's really, really surprised me. I've got more. Oh my God. It gets worse. I'm going to watch the football for a bit. It gets worse. I can't speak. I can't believe what big, heavy prat can run quicker than a bloody rhino and catches. There's a video in this. Animals That You Wouldn't Believe Could Catch You and Kill You by Mark Goldbridge. There's a series in this. This should be on the Netflix. This should be on Netflix. Animals You Wouldn't Believe... Here I go. Animals You Wouldn't Believe Could Catch You and Kill You with Mark Goldbridge. In at number 10, a rhino. Can run quicker than Usain Bolt. And as it's chasing you, you're going to get a horn up your arse. Mark, thank you. I think you handled yourself very well on that Talk Sport, says Ollie. I'm a professional. You've trained me well. Oh, he's going to book. He's going to book Hall here. I think this is a bit unlucky. I don't think he's done anything wrong. He's running down the wing. He's in a 50-50 with the striker, who has got ahead of him. It's one of those, isn't it? Is he pulling him back? It's 50-50 to me. I think that's a harsh yellow, that. That's a harsh yellow, that. And it's 50-50. It's half a dozen of the one and half a dozen of the other. It's what you call a home referee. Reese says, I signed Wizzer for Man United on EA24. What's your options or opinions? I wouldn't do it, Reese, but well done. 80% of Spurs-Chelsea pre-game analysis was about Arsenal. How is this guy on national TV? He's supposed to have a neutral view, says Tanishk. What are you talking about? Somebody tell Tanishk this is YouTube. Is he talking about me? Are you talking to me? Got rid of this. You talking to me? Do another Driving with Goldbridge Animals edition, says Michael. Well, the free kick came in and it's gone for a corner to Dortmund. I just have a feeling it's going to be a hard night for Newcastle here. What's for tea marks, says Peter. I had another of my... what did I have? I'll show you. I mean, they're not sponsoring the show, but... I can't remember what... They sponsored the watch-along last night. I've got loads. They sent me a whole packet of... Because HelloFresh sponsored us last night. I'm on my second meal. I don't know why I didn't have that. I had that last night. Very, very nice. Cheesy beef mince ragu stew. Lovely. I didn't have that tonight. Oh, I haven't got it. Haven't got the one I had. Oh, that's because it's in the kitchen because we had it, innit? I'll go and get it in a minute. Oh, I tell you what, I'm liking the look of that. I think we've got that tomorrow. Creamy coronation chicken. But the one I'm really looking forward to at the end of the week is this one. This is right up my street. Rosemary lamb steak and fondant potatoes. Loving that. I'd tell you what the code is that you can use with HelloFresh. You get 60% off your first box. Was it Footy 60 or something like that? Somebody will know. Somebody in the chat will know. You get 60% off your first box and then 25% off everything else. 8 other boxes, but I can't remember because they're not sponsoring this stream. It was last night. I can't remember what it was. I wonder if I can see it. Football 60. No, yeah, Football 60 is the code. 60% off your first box and then 25% off your next 8. And I've really enjoyed my dinner this week, last night and tonight. Love it. All the ingredients, all the instructions, easy to do. Loved it. Give it a go. Football 60, HelloFresh. Look, you see her look at the camera then. Bloody hell. Wouldn't want to not tidy my room up with her in the house. Bloody hell. If looks could kill. Wouldn't work against a hippo or a rhino, love. You give a rhino that look and you're getting a horn right up you. Which is a horrible thought. Horrible thought. Might be able to get away with it on Newcastle against Dortmund. You try that on the Serengeti. With a rhino. And you are getting what I call royally horned. If Newcastle lose here, says Russ, they are going to be heading to the Europa League. It'll be very difficult for them to get out of this group if they lose here. Not impossible, but you'd put Dortmund and PSG as through. Oh my God. Dean in the chat has just asked the question I've been waiting for. How long is a rhino's horn? Dean, everyone's going to think the same thing. You're entertaining what it might be like. Well, Dean, if I told you a rhino's front horn is typically 20 inches, but sometimes up to 55 inches. Trust me, nobody's taking 20 inches or 55 inches. So, Dean, get those thoughts out of your head because actually it would hit the back of your head. It's that big. I never knew. 20 inches is pretty big, isn't it? That's big. They're packing, says Darwin. Yeah, you're not living off a horn from a rhino. Let's put it that way. You're not living. What am I on about? Dean started it. That's what she said. Hey, let's not bring Katie Price into it. Go stop. It's not fair. Newcastle looking to break here. It's very much Dortmund, isn't it, at the moment? Hall's obviously got his yellow card. Don't forget, OneFootball sponsoring our stats carousel, which goes round throughout the game and it's updated by the second. You can get the OneFootball app for free by scanning the QR code in the top left-hand corner or going through the link in the video description, or your latest breaking football news, transfer news, free on Apple and Android. And, of course, you can get your individual game stats as well. That's a good save by Pope. I think it's Adeyemi who gets it off his left foot. And Pope did very, very well there. He's had a big Champions League, Pope. He was superb in Milan. He had a lot of saves to make at St James's Park as well. Just palms it away. He'd expect to make that save, but he gets it away. Tyson's mentioning Anthony Taylor. What are your thoughts on him managing the Man City-Chelsea game on Sunday at Stamford Bridge? Well, I mean, did he really get demoted? He was refereeing in the Championship on Saturday, made a terrible error, but he's back to referee a Chelsea game, which, if I was Chelsea, I'd be expecting to lose. He doesn't have a great record, does he, when it comes to that? What's the difference between a raisin and a currant, says Dallas Knight. Don't like either of them, so don't actually know. Peter says, without your live streams, I wouldn't like football the way I do. We're an accompaniment, aren't we? That's what we are. We're an accompaniment when you're watching the football. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. What's the next animal on the list, says Brian? All right, okay. So we've been doing, while the game's on, animals that would... What was it? What did I call it? Animals that would catch you and kill you. No, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Have you seen Rooney's comments about Nani, says Tanishk? No. So good I've forgotten the title. Animals that would chase you and... This is it. Dan V says, animals that would chase you down and kill you, by Mark Goldbridge. But there needs to be shocking in there. There was a shock in there. You know, we're thinking about a title here. Shock! Exclamation mark. Animals that would catch you and kill you. No, that doesn't work. Josh Clark says, I'm South African, and if you try and slap a hippopotamus, you won't have a hand anymore. Do you need to be South African to know that? Do they only tell South Africans that, or does it work if you're Scottish? I'm Scottish, and if you try and slap a hippopotamus, you wouldn't have a hand anymore. Please read these comments, says Joshua. I wish I hadn't. I'd say a good title. Unbelievable. Animals that would catch you and eat you that you wouldn't expect too long. Anyway, the next one on the list, and they have had an appearance on previous shows. A moose. A moose. These are... Canadians will tell you that mooses are deadly. I'm not scared of mooses. And I have said on a previous show, all right, you've got big noses, you've got big hoofs. You're just a horse with bigger hoofs and stuck on antlers. And you look stupid. I would openly say that to a moose 10 metres away. I wouldn't say it to its face. I mean, it might whack me with its nose. But I would confidently say to a moose, you don't scare me. And then when it ran at me, I'd run. It can run 37 miles per hour. I can't run even 27 miles per hour. So if I gave a moose a bit of banter, and to be honest with you, it wouldn't be banter with a moose. I actually generally dislike them. It's not banter. I'll make it sound like banter, but it ain't banter. I don't like moose. The only moose I like is chocolate mousse and strawberry mousse and butterscotch mousse, which is actually Angel Delight, and I don't know whether that's classed as a mousse. But it would catch me. I ain't going anywhere with a moose. Except for probably on a dessert plate, because it's going to eat me. It's shocking and disappointing that these animals that I don't respect, that I think I can banter, I have to now respect. I have to bow down to them, or as some Canadians say, bend over to them. They will basically do that to you. Hello everyone and welcome to That's Nature. Today we're discussing fast animals that could kill with me, David Prattenborough, says Luke Jones. The common moose would catch you and fuck you up. Mark, I'm also South African and my homie has hippos that eat his lawn. He can't leave his house some mornings to go to work. He lives by an estuary, says Nathan. Great excuse. Great excuse. Stamford Bridge says, I know Jackson is absolutely useless, but fun facts, goals so far. Jackson 6, Hoyland 0. If I speak him in trouble, big trouble. Yeah, but, you know, if you watch the United stand today, I don't think United fans are particularly bothered about how many goals Rasmus has scored for Manchester United because he gets absolutely no service. If Rasmus had the chances that were afforded to Jackson last night, he'd score all 3. In fact, if I had the chances that Jackson had last night, I'd score all 3. Mark, I'd back a pit bull against you, says Zenon. Well, I'd back it against you as well. Newcastle! Oh, cross from Trippier. He's fuming. He's put it right across the 6-yard box. There's loads of green shirts in there, and none of them have attacked it. Big chance. The kid says, who have you got winning tonight, PSG or AC Milan? Well, the fact that it's in Milan gives Milan a chance, but PSG, I think, Milan have got to win that. But if they don't, then they'll be heading out. Newcastle have done all right, though, in the last few minutes. I mean, they're not bowing down here. Thanks for the chats. Yeah, devastating news for cocky people like myself tonight. We've basically established that animals we thought couldn't catch us could catch us and kill us. Rhinos are quicker than us. Hippos are quicker than us. And so are moose. They would catch us. And if they catch us, I don't think sorry's going to work. I don't think that rhino that I've just thrown a bucket of water over, when he catches me, is going to say, it's fine, you've learnt your lesson. I think he's going to take it more than that. And it's shocking to think that as confident as we are as human beings, we can be caught by hippos, rhinos and moose. There are others to worry about as well. What's a wild beast? What? Oh my God, I'm not scared of you. You're just a bloody cow with horns. No, I'm not scared of you. You probably want me to pat you if you could. Oh my God, this one's a bad one. Let's just see what's happening in the football. Bullet says he could outrun a moose. You factually couldn't. And AFC Max says, I can officially say, without a doubt, if I have to witness against Arsenal, Liverpool or Spurs, Liverpool, I have no hope for football. Jamie Carragher, TalkSport, Gary Neville all have this idea that VAR doesn't exist, says AFC Max. Thanks, pal. It's amazing what you can find on the internet. The top 20 fastest land animals. All right, I admit I could get caught by a moose. I could get caught by a rhino. I could get caught by a polar bear. I could get caught by a greyhound, of course. But what the most important question to that is what if I don't run? What if we say, no, I'm not running away from a rhino. I'm not running away from a hippo. I'm not running away from a moose. Today's the day I draw a land in the sign and I say, no, I'm not running. Where's the Google page of what animals Goldbridge could knock out with his right hand? I could definitely knock a camel out. Could you outrun Gary Neville, says Dan? Probably. Probably. He's not what he was, is he? Let's be honest. Marty Smith says, the only animal I think you could knock out was a gerbil. If teams draw 0-0, they don't get a point, discusses Alan. I thought that was true for a minute. Genuinely thought that was a UEFA rule. They're in the box here. Dortmund. Cross. Goal. That's it. I don't know what Newcastle are doing defensively there. It's Fulkrug. I do not know what they're doing there. They seem to be in a position where they were going to deal with it. But they just haven't anticipated the cross. Is it Sabitzer with the assist? It's 1-0 to Dortmund. Newcastle will be disappointed with this. Goes out wide. Yeah, it's Sabitzer who makes the run into the channel. Little flick. Comes back to him. And then Sabitzer goes to shoot but puts the cross in and they're not marking up. They're just not marking up. Look at Fulkrug. He plays the header and then Trippier just doesn't... Yeah, you can't do that. What are the centre-backs doing here? What's Trippier doing here? Fulkrug's the number 9 and they've left him completely unmarked. Completely unmarked in the 6-yard box. Simple goal. Bad defending. Mark, what are your thoughts on honey badgers? They are fierce, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. And Ujwal, thank you very much for your super chat. Appreciate that. I keep hearing things about honey badgers. And I just think about, you know, Winnie the Pooh as a badger. They do look like little shits, to be honest, honey badgers. They mainly live in Africa, Southwest Asia, and the Indian subcontinent. And are there any honey badgers in the UK? No. Yeah, they're ugly little things. I've just realised I'm doing a live stream and I'm acting like I'm not. Why do you think? Who do you think is going to win the Champions League? Says Ujwal. City. Boring, I know, but I wouldn't bet against City. I'll tell you who I'd like to win the Champions League. Bayern. Yeah, I'd like Bayern to win it. That reminds me, I'm going to do a poll actually. Who is the better striker? And it is Bayern versus City. It's Kane versus Haaland. Who is the better striker? Basically, who would you have in your team? Haaland or Kane? There's your first poll of the evening. Your first poll of the evening. If they go, somebody said, Tommy says, don't honey badgers go for your balls. Let's be honest, men. If anybody goes for your balls, you're done. I don't care how hard you punch. If someone grabs hold of your balls or bites hold of your balls, you're done. You're done. You're going down. Man down. Man down. Don't know what it's like for a woman. It's game over, says Chris B. I don't know what it's like for a woman if you get one there. Either way, it's sexual assault. Good point. Somebody said, what about a kangaroo? Well, the interesting thing about a kangaroo is that it's quicker than a rhino. Kangaroos can go at 34 miles per hour, which is quicker than Usain Bolt. So if you start a fight with a kangaroo, you better finish it. Because if you throw a few punches and then think I'm going to run off, it'll come after you. So, you know, don't start a fight with a kangaroo unless you think you can finish it. I've seen videos of a kangaroo attacking a man and it throwing a few punches, and it just sort of went like Tyson Fury and then just carried on. They can be quite, you know, they remind me of Piers Morgan, but they want to fight. You know, they've got that sort of annoying sort of determination to get in your face. So, yeah, kangaroos are very quick. You will be caught. Hi, Mark. Watch the badger versus the lion. Who wouldn't believe who came out on top, says Ray. What sort of badger? That's amazing. Shocker. Animals who can outrun humans, starring Goldbridge. Yes, this is the thing, Dallas. Well, I've always been interested in these sort of stories. And again, my love for Manchester United comes from my granddad. And he was also, not only was he massively into football, but he was also massively into wildlife. I've said it before, like, you know, he really was into it to the point where I, you know, probably wasn't. Some of the things he was into, like, you know, he was really into like birds, you know, if they were nesting, oh, it's a bird, I'd be like, oh, great. When are we going to watch football? But I always remember him saying to me, ostrich. If an ostrich is angry and it chases you, there's only one thing to do. And I was like, what? He said, break its neck. And I was mortified. I said, what are you on about? He said, if an ostrich wants to get you, you're going to have to kill it. I said, why? He said, because they're very quick, and they are very, very quick, and they will peck you. And basically, the only way to stop it is to kill it. And I was like, that sounds really harsh. Because I really used to like emu, which is a bit like an ostrich. Grot bags. But I suppose it's true. If something won't leave you alone and is quicker than you, you're going to have to deal with it, aren't you? You know, people eat ostrich eggs. I suppose it's the same as eating chicken eggs, isn't it, really? Newcastle are up against it here. The problem Newcastle have got in this game is that they've gone very defensive. They've got Joel Linton as a left winger and they've got Liveramento as a right winger, which obviously they're not doing that. They're playing a 4-5-1. But it's really killing their attacking intent. I think they came here for a scrappy 1-0 or a draw. But the fact that Dortmund have scored, Eddie Howe's team is very defensive. It's got Almiron and Gordon on the bench. Yeah, ostrich eggs are massive, Chris. I was actually watching something at the weekend. I don't know what channel it was on. And basically, they had this ostrich farm. I don't know where it was. I don't think it was Stoke. I presume it was like South Africa or something like that. And they had these ostriches who laid an egg. And then the farmer had this big, massive stick with a net on it. And he'd stick it through, scoop the egg and take it out. That straight away made me think, these ostriches ain't friendly, are they? Because why don't you just walk in and pick the egg up? You go in a chicken coop, pick as many eggs as you like, and all the chicken goes is... I'm presuming if you try and pick an ostrich egg up, you're going to get pecked. Anyway, he gets it out, takes it, in front of the ostrich who's in the fence. He's got a bloody barbecue there, cracks it open and makes this massive egg. I thought that's ruthless, that is. It's just laid an egg. It could be its child, and you have just took it out, cracked its egg open, and started cooking it. I mean, when you break it down, all right, it's an ostrich farm, and people just think they're growing ostrich eggs. But when you actually think of it from the ostrich's point of view, that is worse than prison. You're in a field that you can't get out of. Every time you lay an egg, the bloke who's keeping you in there takes the egg, cracks it open and fucking eats it. When you deep it, that's what they're doing in front of you. It's ruthless. It's like having a barbecue, isn't it? And having burgers in a cow field. It's just bloody ruthless when you deep it. Decode says if you give the egg to the ostrich, it will eat it. I mean, that's just horrible. Anyway, Dortmund are on the attack here. Oh, I tell you what, it's a nice ball to him on the edge of the box. He has to take the shot quick, but it's it's high, wide, and not even handsome. I don't think it was wide, actually. I think it was just high. Yeah, it was over the bar. He's an interesting player, Sabitzer. I genuinely thought that he would be... He was a player that I always liked. And when he came to United, I did think it was going to work out, but just didn't. He's got a good assist here, though. Newcastle are in trouble here. Just a reminder that with regards to Newcastle, who are in Group F, they're currently in 3rd place. After 4 games, they would have 4 points. 3rd place, Dortmund, would be 3 points ahead of them. PSG and Milan play tonight. So if PSG win tonight, they'd have 9 points. And Newcastle really would have to go and win in Paris. I think if Newcastle beat Milan, presuming they lose this, if Newcastle can avoid defeat against Milan, they'll drop to the Europa League. But if they lose tonight, I think they're out of the Champions League. Not technically, but I think they will be heading out. Just on the poll, who is the better striker, Harry Kane or Erling Haaland? Then it's 64% to Kane. Oh, I tell you what, somebody said, what were you doing this afternoon playing football, Goldbridge? I've been doing quite a bit of it lately. I actually find that it's, because I wear my whoop, I've been doing quite a lot of different exercises just to see what is the exercise that gets my daily target in quickest. And actually, my football exercise is really good. I do about half an hour, and it's better than going for a run. It's better than a lot of things. And because I have a specific half an hour drill that I've been using for years, but I've actually added in left foot shooting because my right foot's been injured for ages and I'm right footed. So I've got a bloody good left foot shot on me now. But it's a good bit of exercise as well. I mean, you can't just stand there shooting. You've got to incorporate cones and dribbles and stuff. But tell you what, I might be coming towards the end of my life. I mean, not my life. The end of my ability to kick a football. But I've got a few more football challenge videos in me yet. I've left it late. But the incredible thing is that it's fear that makes me be the sidemen manager in the last 2 charity games. It's fear. They don't dare put me on the pitch. Even though I'm a lot older, they're scared to put me on the pitch because they're just worried what will happen. Not that I'll have a heart attack or something like that. I mean, nobody wants that to happen in front of tens of thousands of people. But from a pure ability thing, I've heard the words fear, Perlo, Scholes, Carrick when people talk about me. So, you know, make what you think about that. Make what you like of that. Ray, I'm not going to watch that badger. Oh, I tell you what, can I just give a shout out as well to, did you see my super chat, AFC Max? Yeah, we read it. We read it out, man. Read it out, pal. Sean says they fear the Goldbridge balls. That's sus. Can Newcastle get back into this game? 1-0 down to Dortmund. They have been the better team, but possession-wise, 54-46 isn't too bad for Newcastle. It's the shots. 3 on target to 1. They're not doing enough, Newcastle here. Dortmund are playing with a lot more intensity. It was always going to be a difficult game for Newcastle tonight, but remember, Dortmund got battered at home at the weekend 4-0 by Bayern. So this was always going to be a more difficult game for Newcastle because of that reaction that is always going to come in front of their own fans. Uh, 64% have gone with Kane over Haaland. I've just seen another either or that might be quite interesting. I mean, I have no horse in this race. Interested to see what people say. Mount or Sabitzer? Well, the fact that Sabitzer would have cost way less than Mount. A little bit older though, isn't he? But everyone can get involved in that. Oh, I'll tell you what, anyway, I'll give you a bit of a shout. I'll give you a shout about it. I stumbled across this by accident last night and I stayed up late watching it. Sylvester Stallone documentary on Netflix. Really enjoyed it. I don't know if whether anyone's watched it yet, but I really enjoyed it. It really resonated with me. Not because I wrote a script about boxing, but there was a lot about it that really did resonate. There was something in it that really got me thinking. It'll come back to me in a minute. Celine Dion. Hey, did you see I won the football filling quiz again as well? John Pollock says, why does Gary Neville keep provoking you? The retweet. Oh, if I speak, I'll be in trouble. Some of the stuff he's done behind the scenes, which I won't reveal because it's not professional. I don't really get it. As I say, I grew up really liking him. I don't know what his problem is. Is it bitterness? Is it jealousy? I don't know what it is. Is it stories he's heard that aren't true? I don't know. I basically do not have a problem with him. So, you know. But yeah, I saw somebody showed me that he'd retweeted the Rashford stuff. He's just got a really big problem with me. I take it as a compliment, actually. I do. I take it as a compliment because I obviously rile him, and I've got absolutely I've got no idea why. And I'm not going to stop talking about him or Carragher or anybody else because he's on national TV in the football industry. So why should I stop talking about him? I'm not the one who's scared. Which sounds very arrogant, but I'm not being arrogant. I'm just saying we work in the same industry. He's obviously on a much higher profile than me. But, of course, I'm going to keep talking about it when he keeps saying things I disagree with, like backing the PGMOL. I don't get it. And I'm sure if he saw me, he'd say, keep my name out your mouth. And I'll go, I can't. We work in the same industry and you keep talking shit. Pissed the mother off, told my sister that eggs she eats have baby chickens that haven't been born yet. She had a meltdown. Now she won't eat eggs anymore, says Island Run It. It reminds me of the time I told Seb where bacon came from. He was a massive Peppa Pig fan. Born, it could be because I used to go, Sunshine, Gary Neville. I mean, that can't be a reason to not like someone. It's banter. It's like me going, yeah, kids. Mad for it. Sun ain't gonna shine anymore. No, that's the Doors. What happened between you and Rashi? Says nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing to talk about. It's sorted. It was complete and utter misunderstanding, and as people already know, there's nothing from my side about Marcus Rashford because I rate Marcus Rashford and I have done. You know, he's always been one of my favourite players. So it's completely and utterly out of context. I mean, he's probably got someone in his ear saying, oh, they're against you, but it's bullshit. Don't listen to rumours, basically. The sun ain't gonna shine anymore was the Walker Brothers. What was the Doors one I'm thinking about? Break on through to the other side. No, there was one about fire or something from the Doors. Come on, baby, light my fire. Trying to set my heart on fire. La, 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 la. I used to like the Doors, although I did out myself once when I was in Ireland. Not as gay, but I was at I lived in quite a nice area in Ireland when I moved over. And I was about 19, but I wasn't in uni. And they were all at uni or whatever they call it there. And I went to this party, and there was loads of like uni types who were really into their music. And they said, who do you like? I said, well, I like Oasis. And they went, oh, very mainstream. And I went, well, I like them. Do you like anything else? I said, the Doors. And they went, oh, let me guess. You like Break On Through to the Other Side and Light My Fire? Do you like anything else? And they were the only two songs I know. I went, I really like them. Does anyone want a drink? Bye. How come Newcastle still look miles better than Man United? Says Thiago. Do you think I care? I don't care. Face bothered. Not bothered. Brian's looking forward to Christmas. It's coming round fast. Yeah, the years go quick. I can't believe I was in Mallorca. I felt like I was in Mallorca yesterday, which was actually July or August, and it's now November. It's my favourite time of the year is this time of the year where you get night games, autumn, dark, lights, cold weather. You know, I love the autumn, and You know, I don't like January to April. That's a fake winter. I like September to New Year. But it goes quick. It goes quick. Why are pizzas round, placed in a square box, and then cut into triangles? One of life's mysteries, says Carl. Very deep. Very deep. Imagine if you swapped Anthony for Doku. How would Anthony do at City, and how would Doku do at United, says Bran. 67% are going with Sabitzer. Oh my God. Joel Linton nearly played an assist to Sabitzer there, by accident. Right, we're just about to hit half time here. In fact, we just have hit half time. Thanks, Martin. 67% went with Sabitzer. I've got another one for you, actually. This is a good one. This is a good either or, okay? Gordon of Newcastle or Bowen of West Ham. I've got some good either ors tonight, so you can suggest some, but I've got some good ones. I've played the game. Shakhtar are beating Barcelona 1-0 if you care. Barcelona are in a very strong position in their group anyway. They've got 9 points from 4 games, so they're very much in a strong position. But Shakhtar's a difficult place to go in November. It can be cold. I don't even know if they're playing in Shakhtar actually, or Donetsk or whatever it's called, because that's Ukraine, isn't it? So yeah, it's an interesting one. A lot of people don't rate Gordon, do they? He's not well liked, Gordon. But I actually think he might be a better player than Bowen. Bowen scores goals, but look beyond the goals, which is a big thing. He's not really that great at creativity. But they're playing in Hamburg, Mark, Shakhtar and Barcelona. Let's stop the clock. Stop the clock there. There we go. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. You're very welcome, as always, on That's Football. I am doing a watch-along tomorrow, but it will be United against Copenhagen. It's going to be a big game, but it's on the United stand, so tune in for that. I'm just going to whack on the stats here so you can see the story of the half so far. Remember, we're sponsored our stats carousel by OneFootball. If you want to look at the individual stats, I've pressed the wrong button. If you want to look at the individual stats, you can download the OneFootball app for free. Links in the description, or scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner and get all your latest breaking football news as well for free. But that's how it looks at half-time. 53% possession for Dortmund, which isn't too bad on Newcastle's points. But it's been fairly even, actually. I felt like Dortmund really were the team in the ascendancy. But when you look at the stats, 2 shots on target to 3. Passing accuracy is the same. They've had similar amounts of corners. Newcastle, for a team that's been very defensive, Livramento and Joel Linton in for Almiron and Gordon suggests it's more of a 4-5-1 than a 4-3-3. But they're going to have to be a little bit more attacking in the second half, and maybe we will see those substitutions. Newcastle at the weekend don't play until Sunday, and they will be playing against the... no, I think they're playing on Saturday, because it's Tuesday today, isn't it? They're playing Bournemouth at 5:30 away, so... And then it's an international break. So I think for Eddie Howe, he's got... Well, they've got to go for it in the second half. They've got to go for it in the second half, because if they don't, then... they're heading towards the Europa League at best. If Dortmund win this, I think Newcastle will be going out, unless they can go to Paris and win, which I really don't think they can. And let's not forget, Newcastle were very, very fortunate, in my opinion, to get a point at the San Siro. I thought that Newcastle, Pope had a great game. But it's the ninja injuries have killed us, Mark. I think there's a video in this. I may well do it, actually. I think there's a video in this as to how many injuries there has been. Stephen says, are you doing an 8 p.m. show? I am on the United stand at 8 o'clock. Eric Ten Hag's doing his press conference very, very shortly. And we will be bringing that to you, the response to that, sorry. We'll be bringing that to you, of course, on the United stand, and although the reaction at 8 o'clock, yes. Why can't Newcastle go to Paris and win? They already beat PSG in the group, says Utopian. Well, I think they can, but I think if we did a poll on that, then most people would say no. I mean, let's do it. 64% have said that Bowen is better than Gordon. Let's do it. Will Newcastle win in Paris? Yes or no? Will Newcastle win in Paris? Start the poll. I think I think they're massive underdogs, if I'm being honest. I think that it was a fantastic result for them at St James's Park, but I think in Paris they will naturally sit back, and PSG are a good side, so I think they'll be massive underdogs. I think that's the hardest game they've got in their group, to be honest. You might have seen the video I did today. You might have been in work or school and not seen it. What did you think about the? Well, I'll tell you what the video is. I did a video that went up at lunchtime about Ange Postecoglou's comments after the game last night, where he basically said that fans need to support referees and, you know, accept refereeing decisions. Otherwise, the VAR things are going to take longer and longer. What were your thoughts on that? Because I just think that there has been, and I retweeted an Arsenal account today, which I thought I never would do on Twitter or X or whatever they call it. But I just think that the Carragers, the Owens, the Skies, certain managers are doing it now. It feels to me like there's been some sort of brief gone out that I find it really weird how certain people in the media with big influence are telling everybody what a prat Arteta is and how they shouldn't be complaining about bad decisions. The same thing happened to Klopp as well. It's like the first 24 hours, the whole of football sort of backs Arsenal, backs Liverpool. And then after 24 hours, these big personalities in the media come out and sort of divide and conquer. And the only thing I can think of that's logical is I can't understand why these ex-players in the media would not be on the side of football fans. So it feels to me like the media are in a relationship of some kind with the Premier League or the Referees Association, and they're trying to suppress the frustration of fans. But I've seen no reason for fans to be suppressed, because I see week on week decisions getting worse. I mean, if you're Wolves, you've conceded 2 penalties in a week that aren't penalties. If you're Arsenal, you've conceded a goal that wasn't a goal. If you're Brighton, you've had a goal disallowed for offside, which was borderline, and you've had somebody not sent off who then scored an equaliser against you when they played Fulham. So things are getting worse, but we're being told to let it go. It doesn't make any sense to me. Ange is clearly playing with friends in the media since day one, says Faris. Well, look, I didn't get a chance to talk about this, so I'm very, very glad. If you watched the Watchalong last night, I called it. And to be fair, I don't know whether people were watching the Watchalong or they just know football like we do, but I called it on the Watchalong today. Jermaine Genius on the telly again. His agent is absolutely incredible. He's on TNT. He was on TNT at the weekend. He's on the One Show. But I don't know how he gets on TV. I think he's absolutely dreadful. He probably thinks the same of me. It's a free country. Check what Richard Keys said about pundits being told not to criticise by media higher up, says Matt. Well, fair. Look, I'm not a big fan of Richard Keys. But I've never met the guy. You only see what you see. But if he's willing to say that, then it's only what some of us are thinking. I genuinely think that these people who are saying it potentially are on such vast amounts of money. I mean, if you take away, let's say I'm ex-player X. I mean, I don't want to name a name because it's actually not fair. It's not that I don't dare to do it. It's just not fair to do it, because when you name somebody in a hypothetical, people think it might be true. But if I'm an ex-player on a UK national broadcasting network that has access to Premier League rights, so that could be radio, TV, but let's say it's TV actually, because you get more money, and I'm one of their key ex-players, I'm on hundreds of thousands of pounds a year. And it's a good gig. Now, if I lose that job, what's going to pay me even half of that? And this is the way I think. I was thinking about this today. People think that some of these ex-players can say what they want. I don't think they can. Because I don't think they are set. They're all saying the same thing. I mean, look, you've got 4 or 5 of them all saying the same thing on different TV stations. And I'm like, you're in the minority. Your opinion that we need to back these referees is completely and utterly against what we're seeing week in, week out. Why would we back these referees? To earn respect, to get respect, you've got to earn respect. And they're not respecting football fans with their chaotic officiating of games. So I don't mind being told by people we need to rein it in, we need to just start putting up with it, if I understand and agree with it. But we don't. Well, like, the decisions are getting worse. So we actually need to be more vocal. But what we're being told by more and more of these pundits is, oh, just get on with it, leave them alone, it's time to be quiet about it. And I think, well, hold on a minute, why would they do that? And maybe Richard Keys is onto something, because if I am player X and I've retired and I'm earning $1 million or $500,000 a year, just sitting, watching, talking about football for TNT or Sky or somebody else, and I'm saying it's disgusting, the officiating, and then Sky or be it TNT or someone else say to me, can you rein it in a little bit? We've got good relationships with the Premier League, and we don't want to lose the contract, so can you stop being negative about it? And actually, it'd be nice if you promoted it. Are you going to say, shove it and walk away from a job that's probably paying you money that you need? Or are you going to go, yeah, no, look, it's not a fight I need to be in, I'll back you. And I think that's the conspiracy at the moment, isn't it? Because it just feels like Jurgen Klopp, oh, it's a disgrace. 24 hours later, they shouldn't be putting a statement out. And then Arteta, oh yeah, it's dodgy. They shouldn't be putting a statement out. Arteta's a disgrace. And it's like the shift in their opinion doesn't actually fit with some of their other opinions, like the Super League, that are very pro football fans. So yeah, I think it is odd. I think it's very odd. And maybe that's why they have a problem with people like our community, because I'll tell you for free, there ain't nobody having a pop at, there ain't nobody telling us what to say, because we're a community just doing what we, having a conversation. But yeah, there's more I can say, but maybe over the next few weeks. Anyway, thank you for that, mate. You raised a good point. Danny Inns, thanks for becoming a member. Really appreciate your support. Thanks for the super chats. That was a really good one. Just wanted to quickly talk, because it's half time, about the and obviously we're watching a match here, but I'm happy to bring other conversations in about football. We were watching the game yesterday, weren't we? Chelsea Spurs, and in the second half, I say it, but to be honest, there was about 30,000 people watching, so I don't take credit for it. I might have seen someone in the chat say it, or the chat develops and we start talking about things. And I said, what is Ange doing here? He's got 9 men. It's 1-1, and he's playing all his players on the halfway line. And there was one particular point where he had all his players on the halfway line, and most of the blue shirts were offside, but Cucurella starts from his own half, times his run, little chip over the top, and he's 1-on-1. And I was like, this is footballing suicide. And some people were going, oh, it's Ange ball, Mark. He's going to go for it all the time. That's what he's going to do. And I said, but it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid, because they're going to concede. And they did concede. And 1 point for Spurs at the end of the season might get them top 4. So, look, I like Ange. I like what he's doing at Spurs, and Spurs fans will love what he's doing at Spurs, and credit to them. And I hope they bounce back at the weekend, although it'll be a difficult game. We're going to do a watch-along for it on Saturday lunchtime, Wolves against Spurs. But if they play like that every week, they will not be in the top 4 at the end of the season, and Spurs should be in the top 4 at the end of the season. The football they play, and the entertainment value, they should be in the top 4. In my opinion, I'm not being critical of Spurs and I'm not being critical of Ange, but Pep Guardiola knows when to shut it down. Jurgen Klopp knows when to shut it down. And the fact that Ange was doing that, at 1-1 with Eric Dyer at centre-back and no recovery pace, I think if they'd shut it down, they may have lost anyway. But you can't do that every week. You can't do that every week. Because if that's, we're just going to have a go no matter what, you won't get top four. They've got to learn to shut a game out. They have to. Pep knows how to do it. Klopp knows how to do it. You've got to learn to shut it out. And I know everyone's been, waxing lyrical about Ange and Spurs, and deservedly so. But I don't think that was hip or edgy or whatever you want to call it last night. And I think if Ten Hag had done that, he would have been ridiculed today. And I think that's, the respect that Ange has earned quite rightly from the press, from the British press. There's still a honeymoon period. But I'm telling you now, if Arteta or Ten Hag did that with 9 men, they'd be ridiculed today. They'd be being ridiculed on radio and on national TV. Because it's Ange and because everyone likes him at the moment. Oh, look at Ange. Even though he lost 4-1, he won. No, he didn't. He lost. And he probably was going to lose anyway because 2 of his players got sent off, and that's not his fault. But that high line looked ridiculous to me. It looked absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what the idea behind it was, because Sam Allardyce would know to make a defender run from deep and then run onto it with momentum. So, yeah, interested to know what people think about that. But I thought it was footballing suicide in a game that they were probably going to lose anyway. But do you need to make it so easy for Chelsea? But I hope they bounce back. Almiron's on. They've got to do that. I hope they bounce back on Saturday, because I think they got a really bad deal last night. The two red cards were, self-inflicted, but the injuries to Van der Ven and Maddison were really unfortunate. Mark, have they ever said why it's a disgrace that Arsenal put a statement out, says Wookie? I don't know. I don't know. Again, if anyone wants to get a comment in, I'll have a look in the chat about all these things. I don't know why Arsenal's statement is a disgrace. I don't know why Warnock on Sky and other pundits think it's a disgrace. I personally, that's what the podcast is all about today. Listen to today's podcast. It's come out today, and it's actually entitled Why I Support Arsenal, because it's me saying I agree with Arsenal in the statement. For me, the statement from Arsenal represents football fans. I know it's for Arsenal, and Arsenal don't give a shit about Liverpool or United fans, but they're doing it for Arsenal fans. But it does represent football fans to me. So why is that a disgrace? In this argument, I feel that Arsenal represent all football fans, and the people telling us not to moan about it represent a dictatorship of, get back in the shed, you mushrooms, we're feeding you shit. Somebody said that the FA have written to Arsenal. I don't know whether they have or not. I mean, Arteta has said that the decision to allow Anthony Gordon's goal, he's just done a press conference actually. He says, "It's my duty to stand in front of you and give a clear and honest assessment," Arteta said. "My duty is to defend my players and my club in the best possible way. It's what I intend to do time after time. I always do it and will take my responsibility to do it. It's the way I am. I have to defend my club." The Football Association has written to Arteta and Arsenal to seek their observations about his comments. Arsenal said the refereeing was unacceptable, adding players, coaches and supporters all deserve better. "We have a duty to express how we feel on the evidence we have. We have to stand for our people, our values and who we are. The club statement shows the unity and the understanding in the club in a clear and honest way. That's our duty to as a club. It's nothing special, nothing different. I would do it again and the club would do it again until this is right." I love it. I love it. I love it. And I don't even like Arsenal. I love that. I love it. I think it was a disgrace at the weekend, and I think it's bad for the game. And I think that... Oh, Newcastle! Oh, cross came in. It was in the box for a bit. Almiron's on now. Maybe the Premier League fitness could come into this in the second half. Trippier's gone to left back, by the way. Hall came off. Watchalongs on Saturday and Sunday, Dale. Oh, yes. So Saturday lunchtime, we're doing Wolves Spurs. Saturday afternoon, I'm doing Man United Luton on United Stand, and then Sunday we're back on here for Chelsea Man City. So yeah, I won't be doing any over the international break because I've got my charity stream, which hopefully a lot of you will be tuning in for. I do it a week on Saturday, the middle Saturday of the international break in November. Do an all-day stream every year. Normally do some horror games, bit of FIFA, all sorts of stuff. And we raise money for people with terminal illness every year. So, you know, it's important to me. And I lost another friend, actually. He's got his funeral next week. My best friend's from school's brother, Grant, so he's younger than us, passed away with cancer a couple of weeks ago. I don't think you'll mind me saying this, actually. I spoke to my friend from school, and he said to me, Grant's not got long left. And I said, look, I do know a few people. Is there anything I can do? Like, you know, does he want to go to a football match, or, you know, is there anybody or anything like that? And he said, he mentioned that his wife and daughter are big Take That fans. And I said, well, I might be able to get in contact with Gary Barlow. And I did. And he did a little video for me for a message for Grant. And I sent it to my mate who sent it to Grant. And he never shut up about it. He never shut up about this video that he'd had from Gary Barlow. And I tell you what, I don't think Gary probably wants me to tell people, but like, I know so many people in this industry who will ignore you and won't do that sort of thing. And he had that back within half an hour. And I even said to him, look, I bet you get these requests all the time. You don't need to do it. And he had it back within half an hour. And I just think, you know, there are some people in who are celebrities that you probably shouldn't meet because you'll be disappointed. But there are some people who just come across as nice and are genuinely nice people. Danny from The Script is a lovely guy as well. Lovely guy. Absolutely lovely guy. I remember I was struggling in COVID and he reached out and rang me up. So, you know, there's some lovely people out there. Some of them I haven't even met yet. You know, there probably are some other famous people out there. But that to me was really, really special. And, you know, I know it meant a hell of a lot to Grant and his family, who's now no longer with us. Cancer again. So, yeah, I do my charity stream every November on the international break, and it started because one of my friends died of cancer a few years ago, and then my gran died of it. So I do it every year, and we've raised over £100,000 in 3 years. So, you know, I want to keep doing it every year, and I want to add things into it as well, because I think we are a community that has been together for a long time, and it makes a real difference. You know, the charity that we do it for, Marie Curie, they emailed me 2 weeks ago and said, are you doing your charity stream again? And I know they're emailing me because they need that money. They need that money for what they're doing. So, you know, I wouldn't stop doing it anyway. But imagine if you got the email, are you doing the charity stream again? And you went, nah, I'm going on holiday. So, no, definitely going to do it. Definitely going to do it. So if you can join me for that, it's always a good day as well. I mean, I say it's a good day. It's an emotional day in many ways, but we make it, you know, interactive and stuff. I don't know what channel I'm doing it on. I might do it on That's Football. I think I've done it on United Stand. I've done it on That's Football. I might do it on my personal channel this year because obviously this is for football. But you're very welcome to join us. And it normally starts at about 10 o'clock on the Saturday morning, and we go through until the early hours. So we have a takeaway together. We talk. Sometimes we do film watch-alongs and all sorts. So yeah, looking forward to it. And I hope you can join us. North London is best London, says begging for likes. Yeah, should we get rid of that person? I don't need to beg for anything, mate. You get to a point where you don't need to beg for anything, and I don't need to beg for anything. You know, people either stay and watch or they go. I don't really care. I don't need to beg for anything. The Scripts have the biggest bar bill round in the world, says Joseph, and a great man is Gary Barlow. Ken must be so proud of his son. I can't believe that Ken Barlow's still on Coronation Street, by the way. Manchester legend. In real life, William Roach is coming up for 90. I thought he was already 90, actually. Oh, no, Ken Barlow's... No, William Roach is older than that. He's 91. 91! And he's still doing a soap at 91. Doing a skydive, apparently. I tell you what, that's incredible, isn't it? 91 years of age and he's still acting on Coronation Street. I suppose it's an interesting thing, isn't it, when you think about retirement. Don't worry, I'm watching the game. Newcastle are doing a lot better this half. I'm hopeful that they can get a goal. If you're still acting in Coronation Street at 91, you've got to be one of those people that just want to work till they die. Whereas a lot of people will be looking forward to retiring so they can enjoy retirement. But some people just want to work till they die, don't they? I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I haven't even thought about it yet. I know a few journalists who work till they die. You remember that? Was it Bob Wilner or someone like that? Used to do Sunday Supplement. I'm going back years. That was when journalism was good, but then we didn't have social media really, did we? So that was probably what it was all about. I used to love the Sunday Supplement. I'd hate it now. I think a lot of the journalists now are not that good, but I used to like it then. But maybe it was because they had a captive audience. We have a lot more choice now. I know we've done before, but please again, Corrie or EastEnders, says Aidan. I tell you what. One thing I'm working on at the moment, and I'm not going to give anybody a hint of what I'm doing. I've got a brilliant idea. Brilliant. And it's not even football. I might not be able to get it off the ground, but I know it will be successful. Viking Crypto Warrior, thanks for your super chat. He says, great effort for charity. You should have a Gary Neville debate challenge on it, says Viking Crypto. Oh, mate, I mean, look, I don't hate on anybody. Goal! Oh, he's missed it. He's bloody missed it. Joel Linton, what a cross, right on his head. He's running onto it, centre goal, 6 yards out. It's a goal, it's a goal, it's a goal. He's headed it wide. He's got the right power on it. He's got the right height on it. He's gone for the bottom. He's almost headed it too well. He's gone bottom corner and he's missed. And it's a lovely cross. I think it's Livramento. They deserve a goal from that, Newcastle. They really do. They look like they're going to get it. CT says, how did he miss? They look like they will get a goal, but that is a miss. It is a miss. Do. Ba-da-bam. There's a great chance. Great chance. I have to come back to that super chat because it was a super chat and I want to obviously give the credit they deserve. I've lost my chat here. Let me get it back. There we go. It was... I think Man United will drop to the Europa League as Pirate. That wasn't the one I was looking for. That's not the super chat I'm looking for. Right, let me find it. It was a big miss. Will Newcastle win in Paris? 72% of you say no. And 28% of you are saying yes. Twix or Kit Kat? Right. We're going to do a poll on that. Sorry about this. There was a couple of super chats that I've completely missed, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, so let me come back to them. Newcastle, can they get a goal? I think I'd love to get them a goal. I'd love them to get a goal. Mark, just got here. How's the game been? Says Sebastian. Dortmund were good in the first half. Newcastle in the second half have made some tactical changes. They brought Almiron on. They were quite defensive in the first half, and they're pushing. Joel Linton should have equalised. It was a big chance. Great effort for charity. That was the one. Viking Crypto Warrior. Great effort for charity. You should have a Gary Neville debate challenge on it. Mate, I don't hate on anyone. I'm happy to talk to anyone. I don't duck anyone. And I would love to do a debate with him and give all the proceeds to charity, but it won't happen. LB says, in the game between Spurs and Chelsea, Gary Neville just told the fans what to think. What to think. He said this is a foul and went through every single foul. Yeah, well, obviously he thinks he's right. He's the Prime Minister of football, isn't he? But I think I'm right. You think you're right. What you've got to remember is that not everybody is right and everybody is entitled to an opinion. What annoyed me about the Joel Linton push in the Arsenal game was when people tell you it's not a foul. It's definitely not a foul. Who are you? Who are you to give the definitive, it's definitely not a foul? Like, I definitely think it is a foul, but I can respect people who think it isn't. But realistically, I've seen enough of those given to know that the referee and VAR should be giving a foul for it. Did you hear a new Beatles song? How can there be a new Beatles song? Aidan wants a Corrie versus EastEnders poll. Aidan, if you want a Corrie versus EastEnders poll, you will get one. We've done it before. Coronation Street or EastEnders. I actually do not have a horse in this race because I don't watch either. We occasionally watch it at Christmas, but no, I don't watch it. So, right. I've had a super chat coming in from Max. He says, considering starting a Liverpool fan channel, any advice on how to create a good community and great interactions like you have, says Max. What I would do, Max, is I would be terrified of doing it now because there are so many people doing it, and respect to those people who do it. But with all due respect, I was basically the original person to do watch-alongs, etc. And a lot of people, quite rightly, will copy it because they see something that's successful and they do it. It's a bit like the Britpop era with music. People start doing a certain kind of music and loads of bands pop up. But that makes it a very competitive space because everybody's doing the same thing. I mean, there may well be, when Liverpool have a game, 50, 60 watch-alongs on YouTube. When I started, there was maybe one. So it's a very, very competitive landscape. So I think if you are going to do it, you don't look at my setup and go, right, scoreboard, stats, this, talk about animals. You've got to come up with something that's innovative and new, because why would people move away from the best to watch you? And that's the mentality I had when I started, because there was fan channels around when I started, but none of them did live content, and it was all well produced, 10-minute, who's the top 5 players here, previewing the game. And it was very, very polished and it was very, very good, but it was all 10-minute pre-recorded content that goes onto their channel. And I was like, well, I'm going to be different. We're going to go live. We're going to be interactive. And now everybody does that. So there's an evolution. It's a bit like football, isn't it? I think that the obsession with playing out from the back, playing through the lines, is worked really, really, really well. But I think everybody does it now, and teams are pressing better. So I think there will be the next challenge is to be the next style of football that becomes the dominant style of football. It's like film, it's like music. So I wouldn't say don't do it, but I would be brave enough to come up with something new that's different. I have my own ideas on that, but I'm not going to give you a freebie. But I think I know what the next type of content is going to be. I just don't know whether I want to do it or not. But yeah, I would do something new. EastEnders is very close with Coronation Street. It's 53% against 47% at the moment. Can Newcastle get back into this game? Massive chance, of course, for Joel Linton. He just didn't take it. I've got to stretch me back out here. I'm on the United stand at 8 o'clock. Oh, that's a bad stretch. Oh, that's a bad back. I tell you now, that's a bad back. It's gone really stiff. Oh. Only people with bad back pain will actually empathise with me. And everyone who hasn't got a bad back will be going, that's really sus. It's just completely and utterly seized up. Lower back. And you've got to stretch it out. If I had a can of WD... It's basically like having a creaking door. You've got to get it going. And the reason I have the chair here is to not get people excited about the hip thrusts that are really stretching it out. That's why I have the chair. There's all sorts going on behind it. Even I can't look. It's like Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta. But that's better. Oh God, it was gone. It was like concrete. We're back in the game now. We're back in the game. Here's a question for you. Bit of a medical question. Can I have contact lenses? And would you recommend them? It's a good question. Can Dortmund get back into this game? Yes, they can, because they're winning already. Do, 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 do. Yeah, watch that Sylvester Stallone documentary on Netflix, especially if you like Rambo and all that lot. EastEnders is beating Coronation Street. I mean, I've got no horse in the race, but 66 minutes, still 24 to go here. Newcastle have been a lot better in the second half. Does that do you think Romero's was a straight red against Chelsea, says Wayne? Yes and no. Yes and no. I don't think that you should be getting a red card for winning the ball first, if I'm being honest. I don't think Curtis Jones should have got a red. I don't think Gusto should have got a red. And I don't think Casemiro should have got a red last year. But they are giving red cards for it. So if they're going to be consistent, they had to give him a red because it's the same as Curtis Jones. So I agree with the red card. I just don't think Curtis Jones should have got a red card. So yes and no. Romero's, I think he did it on purpose as well. There's no way that Curtis Jones did that to Basuma on purpose. That was an accident. He won the ball and physics made him roll over the top and hit Basuma. It was completely and utterly accidental. And he got a red. So with Romero, I don't even think his was accidental. So yeah, it is a red. What's your thoughts on Braden? I don't think that's a very nice comment, and I have no thoughts on it because if I have a problem with anybody else, I'll call them out, and I don't have a problem with anybody. What's your favourite genre of book outside of sports and autobiographies for Zero? Well, I read a good book. Heat 2, which I really enjoyed. because I love the film Heat, and the book came out. I got it for Christmas last year. I recommend it. Last film you watched that you thought was utter garbage, says Wookie. I wasn't impressed with a film with Harvey Keitel in it, which is meant to be a classic. I don't know whether it was Mean Streets or something else like that. I wouldn't say it was garbage. Lee says, start, bench, sell, Easter, Halloween, Christmas. Oh, I love this. I love start, bench or sell when it's not actually football related. So I'm definitely starting Christmas. I'm benching Halloween and I'm selling Easter. Now, is that anti-religion? Because Halloween is not a religious celebration. Easter and Christmas are. But I'm selling Easter, I'm benching Halloween, and I'm starting Christmas. And it's nothing to do with the religious connotations. It's just to do with what I enjoy more. I don't like Easter. I've always found it really boring, even as a kid. With stigmatism in both eyes, I tried contacts, but my eyes swell badly from the irritation of trying them. It's goggles when I play, or laser for me, says Alvaro. You got to keep Easter for the Easter eggs, says Gems. I mean, I do like Easter eggs, but I don't. That's not enough. And I like the film Ben-Hur, but that's always on at Easter, and that's not enough either. There was a question I was going to ask, and I cannot remember. Oh yeah, there was a film. Somebody said, "What film is the shittest film that's made you turn it off?" It was a few years ago. It had Nicole Kidman in, and I forget his name. He's not been in anything for ages. I think he was in a Marvel series. He was also in Master and Commander as the sidekick to Russell Crowe. His name's Paul Bettany. That's it. It had Nicole Kidman in it, Paul Bettany in it. The film started. There was this floor, and it had bits of tape, and it said the shop, the pub. And they were literally walking around a wooden floor and then walking into these things that said shop. And I think it was very arty, but there's a fine line between arty and clever and total shite. And I thought it was absolute shite, and I turned it off. And I can't remember what it was called, but it had Nicole Kidman in it, Paul Bettany in it, and they walked around this set with houses and everything, but there weren't houses there. Was it Dogma, someone said? I don't think it was Dogma. I don't think it was Dogville. That was it. Dogville. Yeah, Dogville. I might try and watch it again just to, make sure. But start, bench, sell, geography, history or physics, says Jay. Good question. Not been at school for many years, but remembering GCSE, geography, history and physics, I'm going to... These will be all over TikTok. That Halloween, if you are a clipper-upper for TikTok, just take it. You're welcome. That Halloween, Christmas and Easter one will do well. This will do even better. Start, bench, sell, geography, history or physics. So I'm definitely going to sell physics. I'm going to bench geography, and I'm going to start history, because we did JFK at school and I bloody loved that. The freeze frame of the there was a lad in our class that when the teacher went out to get a coffee, they put the video on and kept freeze framing it on the bit where it hits the head, which is very gruesome but fascinating at the same time. Indian takeaway or Chinese, says Tom. Depends on the mood. I really can be ravenous for a Chinese takeaway on a Saturday night, and the next week it will be Indian. There's a bit of a hold-up in this game at the moment. Still 18 minutes to go, but they're making a substitution. With the JFK thing, I can't do a poll on it because it's just too insensitive. But do you think... I've watched a lot of stuff on it. I just don't think it's... And maybe it's the stuff I've watched that have made me believe it. But I just don't think Lee Harvey Oswald could have got those shots off in that way, that quick. I mean, he was either very lucky or one of the best marksmen in the world, and he just didn't come across as that. The grassy knoll, yeah. Felix says that Dogville is all right. Some people saying Oswald did do it alone. Some people are saying inside job. That's the trouble with conspiracies, isn't it? Who was Jack the Ripper? And actually, with Jack the Ripper, I think it happened so long ago, it's better that we don't know, because if we knew it was Dave from Bethnal Green Street, it makes it really boring, doesn't it? What do you wear? Do you wear socks in the shower? I don't wear socks in the shower, Misfit. I don't wear socks to bed. Johan says, start, bench, sell, Owen, Carragher, Neville. Well, I tell you what, I'm Man City and I'm selling the lot. I'll just replace them all. They're all being sold for their opinions at the weekend. They've definitely sold something to have those opinions, haven't they? Come on. But Are Dortmund going to see this out? That's what I want to know. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. You're very welcome. Lovely stuff. Newcastle have fought well. I think if that Joel Linton goal goes in, and Dortmund were on a breakaway there, if that Joel Linton goal goes in, it's a different story. Literally, it's 1-1. I'd love to see an offside rule change where the offside player has to touch the ball. If they don't, it's not offside. Makes it black and white. Also, Woody Harrelson's dad killed JFK, says Jason. I've never heard that before. Newcastle in the box. Another good block from Dortmund. 15 minutes to go. Next watch-along is Spurs away to Wolves on Saturday on this channel. And then it's Chelsea City on Sunday. But I am obviously doing a massive game tomorrow. Man United Copenhagen. It's a bit like Newcastle tonight. We've got to go away and win. Newcastle, I mean, a draw would be good for Newcastle. It would be absolutely massive. But I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility. It'd be a huge result for them if they can get it. Give me my chat back. Give me my chat back. There it is. EastEnders has beaten Coronation Street by 53%, by the way. And that. Hello.
Hi.
You alright?
Yeah.
What's going on? Seb beat me 10-9 in garden football today, didn't you?
Yeah.
By cheating.
Why?
It was 9-9. The ball was behind the goal, and he said, I bet you can't kick the ball over the goal. It was one of these goals in the garden. And I did, and he was stood in front of my goal, and he kicked it in. And he said, that's 10-9. And I said, that's a bit of a cheat. And he said, well, it wasn't in the rules that I couldn't do it. And I thought, actually, it's a very good lesson. Rules are the rules.
That was in the rules. I told you that.
Well, I wasn't listening to that.
That looks like rugby for me.
It's definitely football. Definitely football.
Definitely looks like rugby.
What have you started watching?
Still watching Biff and Chip.
Biff and Chip. Biff and Chip. Is that the one where you like the mum?
No, that's what you like.
I wouldn't say that. I'm married to your mum. I can't like the mother in that. Don't say that. We're live. Get me into all sorts of trouble. I'm a married man. I'm not allowed to do that. And it's you anyway. You said I really like the mum in this. What's your favourite takeaway, Seb?
Kind of like...
You could stand behind the chair and change the lights. I could give you that job. 10p an hour.
Yes.
Go on then. You don't let anyone see you though, because then they know what's happening. You could be like a disco behind me. There's probably a button for it actually. I can save myself 10p. Be careful of some people get headaches from all that.
I know, but not for me.
Oh, they're going to score 2v1. All he's got to do is pass. He's took too long. He's greedy. Oh, well. I'll tell you what do you think about that?
Not really that good.
It reminds me of me.
Yeah, you just greedy, never pass and just shoot.
You know what? I've been attacked this week by Neville, United players, all sorts, and I can take it. You've just owned me. Absolutely done me. Unbelievable. You've just ended me. People have been waiting for years for me to fall off, and I've just fell off. You've absolutely done it. It's a good goal, actually. Lovely breakaway. Newcastle have got to go for it. They've been caught on the break. It's a 2v1, and I tell you what, I think he's clever, Brandt, there, because he's trying to slip it in. Liveramento's done really well, and Brandt said, all right then, I'm not going to pass, I'm going to shoot. And the finish is absolutely exquisite. Bottom corner, left foot, technique.
How's that impossible, left foot? For me, it's impossible.
Not for me. That's the sort of thing I do in the garden all the time.
I'm trying to practice, but I was practicing in the match, wasn't I? That's
Yeah,
why.
but you're right-footed, aren't you? Yeah. You will be two-footed, don't worry. Owned by Seb, says Gems. That's game over anyway. 2-0 now. I've played the game. That's it. 10 minutes to go. Marco Royce comes on.
I think like when you go red, green and purple, it looks really cool.
What football team do you support, Seb?
Manchester United.
See, didn't even have to tell him.
Or
No, there's no oars. There's no oars. This ain't a boat. We haven't got any oars here. It's Manchester United. Who's your favourite player?
probably Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire. This is where it starts to go.
And he got a letter from Harry Maguire saying stop doing videos about him and being mean to him.
No, that wasn't Harry Maguire.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't. It was the other player you like.
Marcus Rashford.
Mm.
You were doing videos about him.
It was a misunderstanding. It was a misunderstanding.
It's 2-0, not.
Yeah, it's 2-0.
You a minute ago said 2-1.
No, I said 2-0. You're not listening.
No, you did.
Attention to detail. What do you think of Liverpool?
No, I hate it.
There's Liverpool fans in the chat. I'm not on United stand. You're not in a safe place. There's people who like Liverpool in there and Arsenal. We've got enemies now, mate.
I hate Messi.
You hate Messi? Oh, God. No, cut. Why do you hate Messi? You don't hate anyone.
No, I do hate Messi.
Why? I don't. Is it because you like Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Ooh.
How good is Messi?
Arguably the best player in the world. You've made a mistake, mate.
No, I don't like him because he's so good.
Ah, right. He doesn't like him because he's so good. There we go.
Yeah, he can beat you. He can definitely beat you because I've beaten you.
Look, own it. You've got it wrong. You've got it wrong. I can't believe you've said that about Messi. Oh, my God.
I bet he's not watching you because he hates Manchester United.
He won't be watching me, no, but there will be people who love Messi in the chat who are watching it. Some people support Messi more than they do a football team. What do you think? Some people support players more than they do a team. That's silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the modern game, though.
I don't like Newcastle.
Don't you?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's a castle with just horses.
No, that's not it. That's not a reason. I actually thought you were onto something good there, but I thought you were going to say because they they're owned by rich people and they buy everything. But you know, we'll leave it at that.
I don't know
What I need you to go and do is go and speak to your sister and say, I need to brush my teeth.
I've already done it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Right, we'll go and watch a bit more of Biff and Chip because I'm coming up in a minute.
Okay. Probably 24 hours.
No. Like literally 7 minutes. All right, say night to everyone.
Night. Night is stand.
That's football. Wrong brand. Cheeky sod. Getting too much lip. It's a contradiction. He doesn't like Messi, but he loves Harry Maguire. It doesn't make any sense. And he likes Harry Maguire because he doesn't like the fact that people say he's not that good. He's got a lot to learn. He's got a lot to learn. It's the same for Newcastle this. I think they're heading to the Europa League. Future of the United stand. Well, with opinions like that, he's going to be a lot more controversial than me. Don't know where he gets it from. If he's like that at 6, imagine what he's going to be like at 16. Just... Yeah, unlucky for Newcastle. Unlucky for Newcastle, this. I think that Joel Linton chance goes in 1-1. I'm sure Arsenal fans are loving it, by the way. It doesn't take long in football to get your banter cards back, does it? Garlic Bread says, start, bench, sell, Euros, World Cup, Premier League. Yeah, this is easy. I'm going to sell the Euros. I'm going to bench the World Cup. And then I'm going to start the Premier League. Can I just say you are the best community in the world? Some of these creative bench or sell. The referee's fell on his arse. He's fell on his arse. You fell on your arse. Stop pretending we didn't see it. You fell on your arse. And your shorts are up like Simon Cowell now, mate. You fell on your arse. You've got a wedgie. Pull your shorts down a little bit. Bloody hell. Were they always like that? We saw it. We saw it. Look at him acting all cool now, running over to see if Fulkrug's all right. Yeah, you've been a brilliant chat as ever. I love doing the United stand, obviously, but I love doing That's Football as well. And some of the start, bench and sells have been brilliant. I mean, look, the Rhino story as well. You live and learn. You know, we love our football, but you will learn things here. Don't ever think you'll get away from a Rhino. You will never do it. The scary thing is, if you are trying to get away from a Rhino, you've got to be... Don't do it in a 30 mile an hour zone. You'll have to break the law because they can run 30 miles an hour. And 30 miles an hour in a car, it's reasonable. You're going to have to break the law. I'm going to try that next time. You're doing 40 and a 30, which I would never do. I was trying to get away from a Rhino, and if you look on Google, they can kill you and they can run 30 miles an hour. What did this Rhino look like? Well, it looked like a fucking horse. It was a Rhino. VAR should only intervene in offside goals if there is a clear and obvious error from the linesman. I don't understand why it isn't a rule, says Jamie Hunt. You have a lovely son. Congratulations, mate, says Viking Crypto Warrior. Thank you. Appreciate that. Des says, I apologise for saying Ten Hag out. It was a reaction. I want to see him stay. Des, I want to see that on the United stand tonight. I can't really get into it on here because it's not United stand, but that I would like to see that on the United stand. Thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We've had a lovely time on here tonight, considering it's an early kickoff. I'm going to go and watch the Ten Hag press conference, then I'm going to be live at 8 o'clock. Aiden says, you missed my super chat. Did I? I never do it on purpose. What's the plan for your rest of your night, says Callum. I've just told you. Aiden, booting him out for spitting facts, you glazer, says Aiden. I booted him out because he's going to bed and he always has a moan if he doesn't get to watch. a few minutes of TV before bed. A bit like his dad. So he's going to bed in a minute. So he needs to just chill out. Bit of Bluey. Or Biff and Chip or whatever it is. Mark, Airwolf, Blue Thunder or Street Hawk? I don't remember what Blue Thunder was. Street Hawk I put on the bench. Definitely starting Airwolf. The theme tune alone is amazing. Which reminds me, please do support the podcast. New episode out today. Links in the live chat. It's pinned there. Goldbridge Saves Football. Give it a listen. Starts off why I support Arsenal, which doesn't actually mean what it means, but you know, if you know, you know. But the jingle this week, we have a regular section called Prat of the Week, and because it's a podcast and it's audio, we want to get some jingles. So we've got a jingle for Prat of the Week, and it's going to stick in your head because it's brilliant. So please do support the podcast. Links in the live chat. Give it a download for later. Might want to listen to it before you go to bed, or if you're on a run or a walk or whatever. I listen to it while I'm playing pool because I like playing pool on my own. So I like listening to music or listening to a podcast while I play a bit of pool. It's me time, and no one else is invited. So sometimes I'm in a pub. People will say, "Can I play the next frame?" If I wanted to play with you, I would tell you. I booked this table for an hour. Fuck off. No, I wouldn't. I'd never be that rude. Opinion on failing United channels taking digs at you, says Zion. I have no opinion, mate, because I don't watch them. And I saw yesterday that there were some people that had our back, and there were some people that used it as an opportunity to retweet it and be bitches. But you know, they don't say it to your face. It's all behind your back, and I'm used to all that, so I'm not bothered. And I'm certainly not going to get into beef or anything like that with people. I'm way, way, way past all that. There's just no, you know, as they say, don't box down, box up, and don't go down to the level of idiots because they're well experienced down there. So I don't know who it is, and I don't know what's been said, so I can't really have a comment on it, to be honest. How often do you get recognised on the street, Mark? What are fan interactions like for you? I'm very good, Aidan. You know, very good. I'll speak to most people. Megan says, Lost, Prison Break or Breaking Bad start bench sell. Lost can get sold. Prison Break can go on the bench. Breaking Bad gets started. Glenny Boy says, I saw a guy online say you can't name a United player from before the 80s apart from the Trinity. Not sure if they are clueless or just poison. Well, I didn't even know that was going to be a super chat. I wasn't born before the 80s, but I can give you plenty of Man United players from before I was born. Absolutely loads of them. And it's not just Sir Bobby Charlton or George Best or Dennis Law. You've got the likes of Nobby Stiles, Alex Stepney. I mean, I can name most of the Busby Babes with Duncan Edwards. And I've got a signed picture of Harry Gregg, and before he died, that somebody got for me as well. The 70s. I mean, look, I didn't know there was an exam for what a top red is, and I've asked for this so many times. Can I take the exam to be a top red? Because I think we all would love to know what it is. And I find it fascinating how people are so obsessed about how somebody else lives their life. But it's funny. It's funny, you know. Charlton, Best or Pele, never saw them play. Can't do that, Mark. VAR, Farmer League, Super League. VAR, Farmer League, Super League. They can all get sold the mush. I wouldn't give them any positive. My first game at Old Trafford will be Bournemouth. Great show, Mark, by the way. I am from Malahide and glad you were there, says Des. Oh, lovely place. Lovely place. I need this game to end because I've got to set the 8 o'clock stream up. I've not even set it up yet. Busy Bridge. I'm on the United stand. I really should have set it up and then said go over to the United stand. It's set up. That was foolish of me. Almiron's just hit a good shot. It's a good block. On another night, Newcastle could have got a result. And that's the final whistle. It's ended. I am on the United stand at 8 o'clock. I'm going to rush and set it up. You've been absolutely fantastic tonight. Press conference reaction, yes. I'm doing a watch along on the United stand tomorrow for Copenhagen. Newcastle look gutted. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And I will see you on the United stand at 8 o'clock if you're tuning in. But you've been brilliant tonight. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your company. And I'll speak to you very soon. Well, 20 minutes if I'm on the United stand. Check out the podcast on your way out. Links in the live chat. Really good episode this week. Thanks for your support. The jingle is worth the click. Speak to you in a bit.